Welcome everybody to another episode of Tea Time. I'm Souldin of the Grin Brothers, and here with me, again there's no one with me, it's just my tea. Today's tea is Serene Jasmine Green. I'm currently having it just pure green tea at the moment because it's my first time trying this particular one, so I'll see how it is now, and if I don't like it, I'll just put some milk with it. All jolly good. Anyway, recently I've been thinking in regards to tea time because I had set myself out some various ideas, of like 6 or 7 ideas in total. But then I thought to myself, I want to do something more current, more recent. Which is a kind of a silly thing to think about considering I'm going to upload these in like a few days time from when I'm actually recording them. So it's not going to be current considering whenever I receive any piece of recent news. But it's close enough, current enough. So, interestingly enough, when I woke up this morning, I saw the Game Awards had apparently already been on, or half on, or something like that, and some new information about various Zelda games have shown up, including information about Zelda U, including gameplay footage of Zelda U. And I thought, well, that's an interesting thing to start talking about, because Zelda U was a rather noticeable absent from my top 6 most looked forward to games of 2015. And figured it should be a good thing to discuss about. I guess getting the other games, Nintendo games, out of the way of information, apparently codenamed Steam, a game that sort of like, it's interesting to see sort of Intelligent System making a new IP, though they already made Pushmo a while back, and frankly I'd much prefer them to be making a new Penalty Pond game. I'd really appreciate that, guys. But no, it's, fairly interesting, not my sort of thing. I'm pretty terrible at tactical games. So that apparently has been confirmed to have online support, so good for that, I guess. Other information that come out, they've talked about Majora's Mask coming out. We already know about that. Again, not really a game I'm interested in. Majora's Mask is one of the few Zeldas I wasn't really a fan of, so yeah. Very sorry. There was Mario Maker. Now that I am fairly interested in. And it looks pretty darn cool. You got it being able to play the NES version of Mario, the Super Mario 3, Super Mario World, and new Super Mario Bros. U, sort of game graphic style and such. And that's a really cool sort of feature in being able to switch them up on the go. They showed off just like a few little things with a short little trailer, which is pretty cool. Admittedly, the thing I'd most want from the sort of Mario Maker is to be able to change who you're actually playing as, rather than just playing as Mario, or see whether you can just Mario physics or just play through the game as a Goomba, or even just play as the characters that I really think New Super Mario Bros. Should have took advantage of and allowed you to basically play as multiple different characters from the Mario universe, all with their unique little traits. But no, instead you got Mario, Luigi and 2 Toads who all work the exact same. Weird that. In any case, another thing they mentioned was that Star Fox U, and, okay, Legend of Zelda U, I guess I better say this first. Legend of Zelda U will be coming out definitely 2015, which was something I expected because they were supposedly wanting to show it off on E3 2013. So clearly they had something going for it in terms of progress. But they also announced that Star Fox U would be coming out before Legend of Zelda U in 2015. That's rather interesting considering less has actually been shown of Star Fox U. Before I've heard, Star Fox U is possibly going to be an episodic game, so it could possibly be released in episode packs, where you do so many missions at a time. So I guess like Nintendo's answer to Killer Instinct, not quite, but as in the way they're sort of distributed. Killer Instinct you get piece by piece by piece. That's their only closest comparison. I imagine there are episodic games, but frankly I don't actually remember or have paid much interest in any of those episodic games. So, well, there was Sonic the Hedgehog 4, though I never got around to playing it. Which is probably a good thing because I've been pretty disappointed getting Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 4 for my Wii and then learning that you can't get Episode 2 for the Wii. If I remember correctly, that was a thing that happened. Anyway, the big thing that Nintendo showed off was footage of Legend of Zelda U. And the game still looks absolutely gorgeous. Link still looks like a girl to the point that it makes Bridget look butch. And if Link isn't a girl in this, then I'm pretty sure I can at least classify Link as a Hideyoshi. Because, seriously, completely feminine there. Any case, game looks beautiful, has a like Skyward Sword feel to it, which I really like because Skyward Sword is one of my favourite of the Legend of Zelda games. The thing that's been worrying me about this game, and it's probably the biggest reason why it wasn't on my top 6 most looked forward to games of 2015, is how it's an open world game. And, you know, a lot of people have been comparing it to Skyrim and such, and I'm really not a fan of open world games. I much prefer linear games. I much prefer having a sort of direct point and not having to... If there are side quests, I love side quests. But the thing about side quests is you go up to a person, they give you an objective, you do that objective. I don't like side quests where you just have to stumble upon them across a giant vast field, or you just do them at random. You know, it's not my sort of thing, really. I prefer having a direct motivation in every sort of point. So that's what's worrying me about Zelda U, the fact that it is going for this more open world approach. That said open world looks lovely. It looks really awesome being able to sort of ride on an opponent. Opponent's apparently got sort of an auto mechanic. And there are some neat things you can do on Epona. You've got the sword firing and arrow firing that you could do with sort of Twilight Princess, but it looks a little bit improved. And you can also vault off Epona and sort of slow-mo, just like in the trailer. That's really cool, that sort of feature that was shown in the trailer is actually a part of the game. Interestingly, Link also puts on a hood whenever she's riding. Yeah, I'm still calling her a she. Until I properly get proof otherwise. I mean, apparently it's been confirmed that Link's a boy, but, you know, that's just words at the moment because everything else says otherwise. As in what I can see with my eyes. Any case, Link sort of wears a hood when on Epona. One thing we didn't see though was the fancy sort of magical sci-fi like arrow, but maybe that's an improvement to the arrow. Something that does give me a lot of hope for the game is the fact that Anamura mentioned insects and apples. That's a very strange thing to say. This gives me hope. Insects and apples! Well, one of my favourite features about Skyward Sword was being able to upgrade your stuff, for your weapons and your items and your shields and such, using insects that you could catch. Catching the insects was a lot of fun. Finding the different insects was a lot of fun. Of course, I love bug catching next. Loved it since A Link to the Past. And being able to upgrade all the stuff and such, I spent a lot of my time just trying to upgrade my weapons and such, and it's just a lot of fun doing that sort of thing. So if that returns for this new Zelda, which considering they're going with an open world approach, and being able to upgrade your stuff would give you more sort of choice and, you know, kind of encourage the freedom that comes with an open world, that is supposed to try and come with an open world experience. It's supposed to make you feel you got freedom of choice and all that. Then that would be absolutely amazing. I may consider getting the game if I do at least have some more information on it. The only thing that's sort of like putting me off so far is the whole open world aspect of it. But yeah, catching insects and getting apples is so far giving me the feeling of, I want this Zelda. Of course, apparently Wind Waker HD is a game that was sort of made to sort of test out making out Zelda U. And I love the usage of the gamepad in Wind Waker HD. Some people would say it's a rather minimal usage, but I feel it worked perfectly. It did what it needed to and really added to the experience. And so if that sort of gameplay is the gameplay structure of Zelda U, you know, you're able to just sort of sort things out as you're riding on Epona, because Epona does autopilot, effectively. So you're going to be able to just sort things out on the go, you know, switch items using the Wii U gamepad. It would be awesome. It would really interest me in actually getting Zelda U. Of course, I'll still wait on more details to be shown. Somewhat more interested actually in sort of seeing more of the Star Fox U after all Star Fox has been less frequent. I did get myself Star Fox 64 3D for the 3DS to help support the series. I'm not a big Star Fox fan, but it was an enjoyable game. I enjoyed sort of controlling the R-Wing using the gyroscope. It's just not one of my sort of series I tend to really follow. I always wanted to try out Star Fox Assault, but never did get it back when sort of GameCube was about. In any case, I don't really have much else to sort of talk about. It was only a small bit of gameplay footage shown. Some of it was probably sort of early, but, you know, for instance, some people I've seen complained about lack of enemies in the sort of area and such. But it looks beautiful the same. I like the look of the enemy designs, like the sort of sound of the arrow and such. Everything's a little bit worried about whether it would properly be able to engage me into the game and, you know, for me to actually enjoy it because, again, not my cup of tea open world gameplay. But I've been able to enjoy games which I wouldn't usually think is my sort of cup of tea. I mean, I really enjoyed Legacy Undercover, and that sort of gameplay isn't really the sort of thing I go for usually. So I'll have to wait for more details on Zelda U. I'll have to wait on more details of Star Fox U as well. Hopefully, you know, information on their names. Most of the games I'm looking forward to in 2015 sound like they're going to be sort of like the early half release, at least all before summer. Whereas Star Fox U and Legend of Zelda U both sound like they're going to be like the later half release. So I don't have to worry about competing with them at the moment in terms of what games I'm interested in. So if I have the money at the time, and if nothing else emerges to compete with my wallet, which frankly I hope other things do emerge to compete with my wallet. I mean, the more the merrier, as it would say. You know, there tends to be so many games that I can't ever decide which ones to get. So hopefully that will be the case sort of later on in the year when more things get revealed. Which, considering it's the 20th anniversary of Panel Depon, I'm hoping is actually a Panel Depon game at some point in next year. Like October 27th, I believe. Come on, Intelligence System. I hope some of your members have some spare time. Well, that's just my thoughts on what was shown at the Nintendo games at the Game Awards. I'm not sure of the exact name. I think it is literally just Game Awards. Share your thoughts below in the comments if you wish to. I will try and reply. I tend to have a lot of free time on my hands, and either doing this sort of stuff or doing fan fiction. So, frankly, I should have the time to be able to reply to your comments. So yeah, share your thoughts. Those are my thoughts, and cheerio, everyone. Oh wait, let me try out this tea first. For a green tea, that's not actually that bad without the milk. Kind of not got as much flavour as I was hoping for. I think I will try it with milk later, but could do worse. Could do worse. At least I didn't go crazy with it like I did with my Darjeeling. Yep, that's all I need to say, so cheerio everyone!